Good morning, guys. So today let's start with where we left yesterday. So yesterday we were seeing logic gates, and in that we saw the basic gates as well as the universal gates. Now we shall continue with the XOR gate. So for XOR gate, you have the symbol as, so similar to OR gate, however, you have a space over there, and then you need to give this symbol for the XOR gate. Okay. So if this is X, Y, and this is F. So this expression will be given as X XORed with Y. So the truth table for this will be, so we saw it the other day when we were seeing binary to gray code conversion. So here for, I said, if you are going to have same inputs, the output will be 0, and for dissimilar input, your output will be a 1. So this is what you will be having as the truth table. So here, in addition to writing this as simply X XORed with Y, we can also give the expression as X bar Y plus X Y bar. That is, it is about these two terms. Okay. And the IC for XOR gate is IC 7486. So that is about XOR gate, and for XNOR gate, it is the exact opposite of this or complement of this. So the symbol is just you need to place a bubble in front of the XNOR gate as we do for NAND gate, NOR gate, or NOT gate. So XOR symbol, place a bubble in front, that will be your XNOR gate. For XNOR gate, we give this as the complement of XOR, or we also give this as this sort of symbol. Okay. Here the truth table will be, for similar inputs, your output will be 1, and for dissimilar inputs, your output will be 0. As it is exactly the complement of XOR operation, that is how you will be having your expression, the truth table. The expression, you can write this as X bar Y bar plus XY. That is terms corresponding with respect to these two. So here X is equal to 0, Y is equal to 0. So that is denoted with X bar dot Y bar, and this is X is equal to 1 and Y is equal to 1. So that is denoted with XY. And it is in either of the cases you are going to have a 1. So we include the OR operation over there. And the IC used for this is IC 74266. This generally we won't be using this much in our lab. We will be using all the other ICs actually. So if at all you come over here for the labs, you will be using all these. So for OR gate, you have IC 7432. AND gate, you have 7408. NOT gate, you have 7404. Then NAND gate, we have 7400. NOR gate, we have 7402. And XOR gate, we have 7486. These are the most commonly used. That too, these basic gates and XOR gate we use very often, and in some cases we will be using this NAND gate also. Okay. So with this we will be doing experiments for the digital X side in the lab. Okay. So this is about the part that we left yesterday. Today we shall continue with the next topic. So for today, the agenda is we are to see the operator precedence, then we will see the Boolean expression or function, how we are going to write write the Boolean expression or function and how you could minimize it using postulates and theorems, all those. And then we will see the complement of a function, that is using De Morgan's theorem only we will be getting the complement that we will see, and we see the canonical form and standard form. So in canonical form, we have two types. One is called the sum of min terms and the other one is the product of max terms. And in standard form, we have sum of products and product of sums. That is what this SOP and POS denotes. We will come back to that. So how much we could see today, we shall see it. So first for the operator precedence. So as with any expression, so be it in any programming language or for any mathematical operation, we need to know the mathematical precedence. So which operator is to be given the highest priority. So the first priority is given to the parenthesis, as always. In all the things, we used to give priority to the parenthesis. The second precedence is to the complements in case of this Boolean expression. Okay, va? And the third precedence is for the AND operation, and the last precedence goes to OR operation. So if you are going to have an expression like f is equal to x plus y the whole bar, this is nothing but actually you could express this again as x bar dot y bar. So as per the operator precedence, when you are going to take this side of the expression, you will be initially computing x OR operation with y because that is inside the parenthesis, and next you give the complement to the obtained result. And for the right hand side of the expression, you first obtain the complement of x and complement of y, then you perform the AND operation between these two. Okay, well, that is what you need to remember with respect to this operator precedence. So next we shall see the Boolean expression or function. So how we are going to, okay, so Boolean expression or function, you can call anyway. So far with respect to truth table for the logic gates, we have seen some of the expressions. So for any n variable, we can actually have 2 power 2n possible functions. That is what the actual possibility of the number of functions. For example, with respect to two variables x and y, so here just for example, I have given this table actually. So here you are just having two variables x and y. So with the two variables x and y, the possibility of the function is 2 power 2n, that is 2 power 2 into 2, that is 2 power 4. You have 16 possible functions. So here the first function corresponds to that of f naught is equal to 0. This corresponds to that of, because for f naught all the output values are 0, so that function is defined as f naught is equal to 0. And here for f1, for x as well as y value equal to 1, you are having the output to be 1. So this expression is nothing but f1 is equal to x dot y. And for f2, you are having 1, then x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 0. Otherwise, all the other terms are 0. So this corresponds to x y bar. Then for f3, you have 1 for the combination x is equal to 1, y is equal to 0, and x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1. So this can be said to be f3 is equal to x. So whatever the value of x is, you are going to have in f3. And for F4, the value is 1 when x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 1. So this is given as x bar y. Then here for F5, F5 value is equal to 1 for x is equal to 0, y is equal to 1, and x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1. So this can be said to be F5 is equal to y. Likewise, you could give the value for all of these. And here with F15, all the values are 1. So the function value is equal to 1. Okay. That way you could give for all the functions. So that is what is about the n variable having 2n possible functions. Now let us see how you could minimize an expression using Boolean, or before that we shall see one more thing. So let us consider the example f1 is equal to x plus y bar z. So f1 is equal to x plus y bar z. So f1 is equal to x plus y bar z. So this is a Boolean expression. So we will write the truth table for this. So you have x, y, and z as you are having the three variables. Then we shall write y bar z and then f. Okay. So these are my inputs. This is an intermediate term and f1 is my output. So we have 0, 0, 0. So every time when you are going to write a truth table, depending on the number of variables, always write the values in the order from 0 to 2 power n minus 1 in the binary. Okay. So this is 100, 101, 110, and we have this to be 111. Okay. So now y bar is it. So this implies you will be having the value of y bar z to be 1, then y is equal to 0 and z is equal to 1. For all other cases, the y bar z will be equal to 0. Okay. So these are all zeros except for the place where y is equal to 0 and z is equal to 1. Okay, ba? So this is my y bar z. Now we need to perform the OR operation between these two. So with OR operation, we know if, so in this case, if
Ma'am,
சொல்லுப்பா.
y bar z திருப்பி சொல்ல முடியுமா?
Y bar is it is, y bar implies the value of y should be equal to 0. Okay, va? Y should be 0. That means y bar will be 1. Right? Not get complement function.
Yes, ma'am.
And z is equal to 1. So if I have y is equal to 0 and z is equal to 1, I will have a 1 in those places because y bar will make a 1 and the AND gate will give me the output 1.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, that is the logic. Okay, so now for F1, you have to perform the OR operation between these two. So if I have the value of x is equal to 1, then my output will be equal to 1. So I can actually have these to be 1. I need not worry what the value is going to be for, that is with respect to this y bar z, because we are performing the OR operation. So either x should be equal to 1 or this y bar z should be equal to 1, or both can be 1. Okay. So first I have filled in the values where x is equal to 1. Next I can fill in the values where my y bar z is equal to 1. So this is the only other place. Now we need to check whether there is any overlap. So here you can see that you don't have any overlaps. So this is a 0 because this term is a 0 and this term is also a 0. Then here again this is a 0 and this is also a 0. So this is also 0. Then this is a 0 and this is also a 0. So this is our truth table for the expression f1 is equal to x plus y bar z. Now let us consider another example. f2 is equal to x bar y bar z plus x bar y z plus x y bar. Okay, so for this particular example, let us write the truth table. So I will just continue over here because x, y, z is going to be the same. I will just give the remaining terms alone for this. So x bar, y bar, z. Then we have x bar, y, z. Then we have x, y bar. And then we have f2. So this x bar, y bar, z implies you should have the value of x to be 0, y to be 0 and z to be 1. Only then with the complement operation, this will x bar will become 1, y bar will become 1 and z will be 1 and you will get the value to be 1 over there. So for this particular expression, here alone you have a 1, all the other places you have 0. Because that is the only place you are going to have this condition satisfied. Similarly, for x bar, y, z, you should have the value of x to be 0, y to be 1 and z to be 1. So other places it is a 0. So 0, 1, 1. Here it is a 1. All the other cases it is a 0. And for this x, y bar, wherever you have x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 0, irrespective of my z. So z can take the value of 0 or 1. Whatever the value of z takes, that doesn't matter for me. Only these two matters. So for x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 0, I am going to have a 1 over here. So for that purpose, you have these two values to be 1, 1, 0, 0 and 1, 0, 1. Okay. All the other places it is a 0. Okay, va? Now F2 is OR operation of all these three. So with respect to that, our expression will be, this is 0 plus 0 plus 0, so this is 0, 1 plus 0 plus 0, so a 1, all zeros, so 0, you have a 1, so 1, this is a 1, this is a 1, and these are zeros. Okay, so are you able to understand this, how I am giving the values in the table? Guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now, sorry. So now, here we have the expression in this bigger form. Actually, the given F2 can be simplified. That is, you can simplify this as in the first two terms, you have x bar and z to be common. So you can simplify it as x bar z into y bar plus y plus xy bar. And from the postulate, we know this y plus y bar is equal to 1. This is from the complement actually. So y plus y bar is equal to 1. So, and we also know that x into 1 is equal to x. So our expression F2 actually can be simplified as x bar z plus x y bar. So for any particular function, you will be having only one truth table. However, the function can be simplified, or you could say many functions can have same truth table. It is how you represent it. That is what matters. Okay. So if we are going to take this particular function as it is, we have this x y bar already. We will just write x bar is it. So x bar is it implies you need to have the value of x to be 0 and z to be x to be 0 and z to be 1. In between you can have y can be 0 or 1. So for 0 0 1 and 0 1 1 alone you will be having 1 over there. Other places are a 0. So if I am going to perform OR operation between these two, so this will give me the 1 over here, this will give me the 1 over here, and this will give me the 1 over there. This will give me the 1 over there. So the F2 function here, we are having the same values in the truth table. However, we have two different expressions for the same thing. Okay. So you could simplify any expression. However, truth table will be a single thing. That is what you need to have in mind with respect to this. Now next, coming to the minimization. Okay, we shall consider these two examples. So let us minimize the expressions using postulates and theorems. Postulates and theorems. Just I am taking two examples over there. So let us first consider f1 is equal to x plus y into x plus y bar. Okay. So for this particular function, actually you can straight away say you are using distributive law. So this will give me x plus y dot y bar, right? So this is with respect to distributive law, that is plus over dot. Okay, and we have this to be x plus 0. This is nothing but our complement property, where we had x plus x bar is equal to 1 and x dot x bar is equal to 0. Now from this we will be having x. This is nothing but our identity element property. Okay, this is one way of doing this, or otherwise you can multiply these variables like we used to normally do in mathematics. So x dot x plus x dot y bar plus y dot is x or x dot x. It is commutative, so we can write it as x dot y plus y dot y bar. So now you have to start simplifying. So this y dot y bar is 0 with respect to the complement property, and for other elements you can take x common outside and you will be having x plus y bar plus y. So now again with respect to the complement property, this will be 1. So x into x plus 1. So you can have this as x plus 1 is equal to 1, because irrespective of my value in x, I am going to get a 1. So x dot 1 is equal to x. Okay. Anyway, you could prove this. So sometimes these type of problems, they will be asking for 2 marks, or for you, it may be coming for 6 marks as well. That is 6 marks, 3 year subdivision irukkalam. You will be having it that way. Okay, va? So this is one example. Let us see the next example, x into x bar plus y. So for the second example, f2 is equal to x into x bar plus y. So here again, just taking the dot over plus using the distributive law, you could write this expression as x plus x bar, x dot x bar plus x dot y. So this is, but everywhere try to write the corresponding property you are using. Okay, don't simply write the simplification procedure as such. So this x dot x bar is going to be 0 with respect to the complement property, and then this will be identity element property, so you will get x dot y. Okay, so this particular expression x dot x bar plus y can be simplified as xy, and this particular function can be simplified as simply an x. Okay, this is how we do simplification of any Boolean expression using the postulates and the theorems. So the postulates and theorems, yesterday I showed a table. So with respect to that, we do this. Okay, so the next one we see is the complement of a function. So how to find complement of a function? We shall see that now. So for complement of a function, so the main thing we use is the De Morgan's theorem. So De Morgan's theorem helps us in finding this complement. So we have two De Morgan's theorem. The first one is x plus y the whole bar is equal to x bar dot y bar, and the second one is x dot y the whole bar is equal to x bar plus y bar. Okay, so this De Morgan's theorem can be extended to any number of variables. So let us see how we are going to use this with examples. So first let us take f1 is equal to x bar y z bar plus x bar y z bar plus x bar y bar z. So now we are to find f1 bar. Okay, so f1 bar is equal to, so we are going to take complement of this. So x bar yz bar plus x bar y bar z, the whole complement. Now consider this whole thing as a single variable. Let me denote it as a just for your understanding, and let me take this term as b. So this is like you are having a plus b the whole bar. So my resultant is supposed to be a bar dot b bar, right? So I will have this as x bar y z bar the whole bar. This is my a, so x bar y z bar dot, this is my b, so x bar y bar z the whole bar. Okay, so now again we are having this in this particular format, that is, let us consider this to be x dot y the whole bar, and we need to take this. So here again we need to apply the De Morgan's theorem, and I said you can extend this to any number of variables. So based on that, this will be, I am putting a bracket for this to just indicate this one. So the first term will be x bar the whole bar plus y bar plus z bar the whole bar. That is for this particular term. And for the second term, x bar the whole bar plus y bar the whole bar plus z bar. Okay, va? We have applied the second De Morgan's theorem for this. Now this can be written as, so we saw a theorem where x bar the whole bar is giving you x as such. So this term is x, this is y bar, then similar way z bar the whole bar will give me z. Similar way here x bar the whole bar will give me a x, and y bar the whole bar will give me a y, and this will be z bar. Okay, va? So this is the complement of the given function. Okay, so we apply De Morgan's theorem and find the complement. let us see one more example. So for the second example, let me consider f2 is equal to x into y bar z bar plus yz. So x dot y bar z bar plus yz. So now here we have to find f2 bar. So f2 bar is equal to, so here we are going to use the second property, second De Morgan's theorem first. So this is to be complemented. So let us take this as A and this whole thing as B. So this is going to give me x bar plus this whole thing bar. So y bar z bar plus yz the whole bar. Okay, because this is of the form a dot b the whole bar, this is equal to a bar plus b bar. So that is what I have written in this. Now we need to give this as x bar plus, now we need not disturb this x bar term as such. Now here again consider this as a and this as b and apply the first De Morgan's theorem. So this will be, so this is going to be a bar dot b bar. So this will be y bar z bar the whole bar dot yz the whole bar. Now again applying De Morgan's theorem, this will be x bar plus y bar the whole bar plus z bar the whole bar dot y bar plus z bar. So this will be x bar plus, so y double bar will be y and z double bar will be z. So this will be our expression for the complement. This is our f2 bar. So again, if this is asked for 3 marks or something, you need to write the steps in between. We have a shortcut to remember this. What we actually do is we write the, so to find complement of any function, the shortcut is first find the dual of the function. So what is dual of the function? We will be interchanging zeros and ones and or and operation. That is what is dual, right? As we saw that yesterday. So here for this particular example, let us just say the dual of f2 will be, dual of f2 is actually, here we don't have any zeros and ones, so we will be just changing the or and operation. So this will be x plus, so let me put the square bracket here. So y bar plus z bar dot y plus z. So wherever I had dot operator, I have replaced it with plus operator and the plus operator is replaced with dot operator. Okay, that is what the dual is. Next thing what you need to do is, you need to change the variable in prime to, or interchange prime with unprimed and unprimed with prime. Okay, we call this bar as prime symbol that I said yesterday. So based on that, so interchanging prime unprime variable, you will be having x bar plus, we have this as y plus z dot y bar plus z bar. Okay, va? Our first step and second step. So now you have the same answer. Okay, va? So this is how you could find the complement. So in short, this is what you need to remember. But depending on the marks, you need to see what you have to use it. Okay, va? So you could always check whether you have got the correct complement or not using this. Okay, do you understand this? Guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now here we use one more word called literal. That is the variables x and the variables are x and y in the function x, y and z are variables. Literals means you say whether the particular variable is in primed or unprimed form. Prime or unprimed variable. So literal in the sense you say x as a literal, x bar as a literal, y as a literal, y bar as a literal. You might come across this term actually. So minimize the Boolean expression to minimum number of literals. Like that they will be giving. So for that purpose, I just wanted to say that. Okay. So now we have all these expressions and things. So we didn't see how to draw the logic diagram for these functions. So let us see it and then go on to the next one. So here we were seeing two expressions. F1 is equal to x plus y bar z. So I will draw the logic diagram here. So F1 is equal to x plus y bar z. So you are having three variables. So this OR operation, you need OR gate, and the AND operation here, you need AND gate, and the complement operation here, you need a NOT gate. Okay. So here, in order to get the final answer, first you need to compute this y bar z. So first let us have y bar z. So I have y over here. Now I am going to do AND operation of this with z. This is my z. And this output is to be ORed with x. Didn't come out very well, but okay. Okay, this is to be ORed with x. This is my F1. Okay, so this is giving me y bar. This is giving me y bar z. And this is giving me x plus y bar z. Okay, this is how we implement any function. Now considering the function f2 that we saw, both the functions let us see. So the first expression for f2 we considered was f2 is equal to x bar y bar z plus x bar y z plus x y bar. So with respect to this function, if I am going to implement, first I need, so we will be drawing the expression in different forms. I will show all those actually, just for simplicity. So let me take this as x and let me draw like this. This particular line denotes this is x bar and this is y, and this particular line given with the NOT gate will give me y bar. Z doesn't need any complement, so we shall have it as such. We don't want to have any NOT gate over there. Now we have all the possible input combinations. Next, we need to draw this. So for the first term, we have x bar, y bar, z. So x bar. So if I am placing a dot like this, it implies you have a connection in this particular line alone. I am crossing over all these lines or otherwise you need to give a jump over each of these, but that would look awkward. So we just denote that you have a connection with this line with a dark dot. Okay. Then this is my y bar and z. I am giving this to an AND gate. So you should not leave any space over there. So that is the first term. Then we have again x bar. Next we have y. Next we have z. This is our second term. Then we have x, y bar. So x and y bar. So this is a 2-input OR gate. Now all these are given to a 3-input OR gate. So this is my F2. Okay. Now we actually simplified this F2 as F2 is equal to x bar z plus x y bar. That is what we simplified. We are having this over here. Now if I am going to implement this, so we have x bar, then straight away I have y bar and z, right? So our expression is x bar z and x y bar. Now this is given to the OR gate. So the purpose of minimizing any given expression is either to reduce the number of inputs to an gate. So by minimizing a Boolean expression, you can either reduce the inputs to a gate, or you could even reduce the number of gates used. Okay, so here in this, with respect to these two, you can see. So here with the first expression of F2, we are having two NOT gates, three 3-input AND gates, two 3-input AND gate and one 2-input AND gate and a 3-input OR gate. However, with the minimized expression, you have two NOT gates and two 2-input AND gate and a 2-input OR gate. So all these, so here we are seeing very simple example, but in some cases, it will enormously reduce the complexity of the circuit diagram and the implementation cost, everything gets minimized. So that is the reason why we will be seeing, we are seeing this minimization. So we have actually other techniques for minimization, which we will be seeing in the next unit. Maybe next week we will come across it. That is, one is called the Karnaugh map method, Karnaugh map or K-map method. And another method is called the tabulation method or Quine-McCluskey method. It is named after the person who gave this method, Quine-McCluskey method. We will see that in the next unit. Okay. So minimization of any logic expression is most important thing. You cannot ignore it because the cost involved will be high if you are not going to simplify it. Okay. So next we shall see, or okay, I will just introduce what these canonical and standard form, the min terms and max terms, and we shall continue it maybe in the next class. So, first we shall see the canonical form. So the canonical forms, you have two types of forms. One is the sum of min-term expression and other is the product of max terms. So with the terminologies, sum of min-terms, product of max terms, we are saying. So what is this min-term and max term? So min-term is nothing but a term where you have all the variables involved in the expression, where you have all the variables involved in prime or unprimed form. Unprimed form. And the major or the main thing is here this will be in the products form. That is the terms involved are in with respect to the AND operation. Okay. Similarly for max terms, this is same. You will be having the term where all the terms will be in there in the term. However, this is in the sum form or the OR operation. That is, to say it clearly, so x, y, and z, the corresponding min term and max term. So first for 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1, 1. So here the corresponding min term is, so here in case of min terms, the primed variable will be having the value 0. So in primed or unprimed form, basically this, the variable in the primed form is having value 0 and this is having variable with value 1. Whereas in this max terms, the primed variable has value 1 and unprimed has value 0. So let us see what that is meant. So here with respect to min term, we write this as x bar, y bar, z bar. Okay, that is what is min term. So you have all the variables involved in the particular expression and you denote this in primed or unprimed fashion. So when you denote it as primed variable, it implies that particular value is having a value 0. If you are writing in unprimed form, that is here x bar, y bar, z, because z is having the value 1. Similar way for all the others, you will be writing this as x bar, y, z bar, x bar, y, z, x, y bar, z bar, x y bar z, x y z bar, x y z. Okay, and the short form notation for this is small m followed by, that is, suffix 0. This is small m suffix 1, that is the corresponding decimal equivalent of these variables. M suffix 2, M suffix 3, M suffix 4, M suffix 5, M suffix 6, and M suffix 7. Okay, and for the max term, as I was mentioning, you will be giving it in the sum form. So this is actually the primed value correspond to that of 1 and unprimed correspond to that of 0. So this is given as x plus y plus z. For this it is x plus y plus z bar. This is x plus y bar plus z. X plus y bar plus z bar. X bar plus y plus z. X bar plus y plus z bar. X bar plus y bar plus z. And this is x bar plus y bar plus z bar. Okay, and we denote this max terms as capital M. The suffix following is the same, or the subscript following is same. So this is M0, M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6, and M7. So here in this, what you can observe is the min term is complement of the max term, or vice versa. Okay, that is, you have M0 as x bar, x bar, y bar, z bar. So complement of this is M0 bar is x bar, y bar, z bar, the whole bar, which is nothing but x plus y plus z. This gives me M0. As I said, vice versa also holds good. You could say otherwise also. So M0 is this thing. So M0 bar is going to be x plus y plus z the whole bar, which is nothing but x bar, y bar, z bar, which is my M0. Okay. So this is about the max terms and min terms. So we shall see how you could write the expression as sum of min terms and product of max terms in the next class. Okay. So I stop with this. Hope you guys understand this. Thank you.